Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to review Papa John's Pizza. This is what I think of when I think of classic pizza, classic American pizza. Everybody knows Papa John's. Everyone's had Papa John's as a kid. But the thing is that I think that Papa John's is classic for a reason. I think that, it's a solid pizza. And there were a lot of times that I think I probably took advantage of Papa John's. And not took advantage, but took it for granted because recently, I've had a lot of terrible pizzas. And, as a kid, I kind of looked at Papa John's as like, okay, let's go get Papa John's pizza. But now I look back and I just think about, wow, it was so good. It was such a great childhood experience to go get Papa John's on Thursdays when we had to do the recyclables and the trash. It was such a great experience. And I guess the main complaint was always the crust. The crust, everyone would call it like the cardboard crust, Papa John's cardboard crust. And we all hated how flavorless the crust was. Well, nowadays, it seems like they've really tried to improve on the crust. And it seems like they've had quite a few really interesting new menu items. They do have stuffed crust, which you can only get an XL pizza. I am not a fan of the stuffed crust that they did. But then they also have some seasoned crust. They have this thing called cheddar crust. So they've done a pretty good job of trying to be innovative and try to improve on their pizza without going too overboard and changing what was already good, which is the rest of the pizza. And now there's the other part, is that Papa John's pizza is genuinely good. It's tasty, it's flavorful, it satisfies you. Every bite is nice and hot and melty and just it's perfect to where it's not too greasy is what I mean, but it's the cheese melts in your mouth, kind of, and it's a perfect texture. The toppings are great. It's overall really good pizza. And there's also a really funny story that I could share about Papa John's. When I was a kid, and I still have my baby teeth, I had a habit of losing a tooth at the most inopportune time. There was one time I was doing Boy Scouts and I was doing this canned food drive. So I was walking around all these neighborhoods trying to get canned food from people for a pantry, and a tooth came out then. And then also I was in school and I was eating nachos. I've told this story before. And I bit down on a nacho chip and a tooth came out. It broke apart and came out. And, there was this one experience, because a lot of the times we would also go to Blockbuster on Thursday and get movies or get video games. And one of those times we went to Hollywood Video because we always preferred Hollywood Video. And we got Predator Concrete Jungle, which is probably one of the more underrated PS2 games. It's a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun. You get to play as the Predator, and it's like an open world kind of game. It's a fun game. And it was the first time I had ever played it as a kid. I had pizza, Papa John's pizza. I was sitting in my living room. I had soda. I had some nice Pepsi, I think. Ice cold Pepsi in a tall glass. And then all of a sudden, crunch. I was playing as the Predator, and I was running in the middle of the city, and I was turning on my Predator vision, and all of a sudden, crunch. And then I was like, uh-oh. And I stopped the game, and I got really upset because it hurt. I was like, oh, shit. And boom, I lost another baby tooth while I was in the middle of eating the Papa John's. And just the soft Papa John's pizza. It wasn't the crust, it was the pizza itself. I was eating a piece of pepperoni pizza, and boom, tooth came right out. And so whenever I think of Papa John's pizza, I always think about watching Predator Concrete Jungle and losing a baby tooth. So the thing is about this pizza is that it's so good that it almost defies like words. Like there's hardly any other words that I could think to talk about. Like in terms of the other pizzas, there's been like a lot more stuff to talk about in terms of the quality. But with this pizza, it has a decent price. It's not too expensive. And the pizza itself, you get a great value for what you pay for. And I'm genuinely really happy with this pizza. But again, the crust is kind of, I mean, I still have a little bit of crust. And that's another thing too, is that like, should I really knock off a lot of points because I don't want to eat the crust all the way through? Because that's optional. At the same time, like, I'm used to getting this pizza at Kroger, which Safi and I actually got that pizza to eat for lunch in the week, and we had a very good time with that. We really enjoyed that lunch. But this, the crust, I still have a little bit because after the first piece where I ate all the crust, I was really hesitant. Like, do I want to eat any more crust off of the other pieces? And I'm going to try a little bit more. It's not terrible. It's got a nice little amount of sweetness to it. It's not dry. It's perfectly cooked. I would say, considering the Papa John's crust is not the greatest, but it's still okay. This is an underrated pizza. Another thing is, we used to have a big problem with Papa John's because they never put enough sauce on the pizza. And they did the same thing at Domino's. So every time we would go there, we would have to order extra sauce no matter what. But I forgot about that this time, and it feels like they put a lot of sauce on the pizza. So they did a really good job this time, and for that, I'm going to give Papa John's an A-. I think that Papa John's is solid, classic pizza. I think it's sort of like the default pizza. And now here's the trouble. Where is this going to rank between Jets and all the other pizzas? It's obviously better than all the other pizzas except for Domino's and Jets, but is it going to rank above Jets? That's the question. Because, yeah, I don't know. Because with Jets, we only tried the Detroit pizza. We didn't try like a regular pizza. If it was regular pizza, this would probably easily clear Jets. But Jets had that advantage. They had the turbo crust plus the Detroit pizza. But still, I'm really thankful to have had this pizza. That sounded like like when you eat and you say a prayer before, like, I'm thankful for my pizza. But I really am, because, you know, it's not just a nostalgia thing. It's a thing of realizing how good that pizza was. And how every time I made fun of it, I was like, oh, we're going to have Papa John's again. It's like, yeah, maybe we had it too many times. Maybe we should have tried something else or had something different. But it was always a good pizza. It's not this terrible pizza that people make it out to be. It's not some stupid, like, boring corporate pizza. It's good pizza. And you know something else, something little that I will say I'm disappointed about is that I really wanted to get this specific dessert that they used to have called cinnamon. I think it was like cinnamon bread or something, and it was this square of cinnamon bread, and it was actually really, really good. They gave you icing to dip it in, and well, now they don't have that anymore. They only have these like cinnamon pull-aparts, and so I was really disappointed with that. But I ended up getting, they have these new Oreo pull-aparts or rolls or something, and I wanted to get those to try them so that I could also report back to you guys. And so next week when we review whatever other pizza we review, which I'm tired of pizza now, or at least I'm tired of, I don't know, like it even though we're only eating one new pizza a week, it still feels like you're having like a dizzy spell while you're on a carnival ride, and you're like, oh my god, the thing is spinning around and around and around and around. I'm gonna throw up, like that's what it kind of feels like eating all these different pizzas for so many weeks in a row. And we're not even like halfway done. We have so many more pizzas that like we're gonna fill up on pizza for sure. And so anyways, please like this video and comment. Tell me what you think of Papa John's pizza. Do you have a funny story about when you've had Papa John's before? They also did this thing, by the way. I guess I could tell this story really quick. They did this thing in 8th grade, which was called Mini Band Camp, where it was basically like showing you what band camp would be like if you joined, and if you joined the marching band or something in high school. I was not interested in doing that because marching band was basically like a cult at my school, and it felt like, they had the popular kids who were, just a bunch of fucking losers, but then they had the marching band and they thought that they were popular too, and they had this little cult that they had. And so both the nerds and the popular kids were all pieces of shit. That was basically the Beaver Creek experience. And but they did this mini camp, and they ordered in Papa John's pizza. And what was really frustrating was that this was for lunch, and only one kid got one piece of pizza, I think. Like, they had it to where every kid had to have just one piece of pizza, and then maybe there would be an extra slice here and there. So, like, there wasn't enough for everyone to have 2 slices. So that was really frustrating. Like, this is band camp, and I get it, there's a lot of kids, but, like, you want to entice the kids as much as possible to join the band camp, and you don't do that by only giving them one piece of pizza. And the piece of pizza that I got was cheese. And, I was a lot bigger. I was a lot fatter than I was now. And just thinking about, like, I was like, this is not how you win over a fat kid. And spoiler alert, I never joined marching band. I never joined band camp. The head band instructor was a jackass, too. He was a complete fuckwad. That would be a really fun series of videos to do, too. Just talk about, like, high school teachers and high school experiences. I bet that Safi would have some good ones, too. I talked about a lot of it in my memoir. I did this little, high school, coming-of-age memoir, which was kind of like a high school comedy thing. And I don't think I mentioned the band camp story. So, that was also, when I think of Papa John's, I think of, oh, here you go, here's your lunch, one piece of pizza per person. Maybe one person here and there gets an extra slice. Like, what the hell? What the absolute hell? So anyways, goodbye, everybody. See you soon.